Good evening. How safe for older drivers? Well, although the Department for Transport says there's no evidence they are more likely to cause an accident, police in Hampshire say there could be greater chance that they are at fault. And they're backed by a woman whose brother lost a leg when he was hit by a driver in their 80s. Sally Simmons has our report.
Paul was riding this motorbike when he was struck by a car in July and lost his leg, his sister tells me.
Sadly, his left leg was trapped between the car and the motorbike, and just the damage was just irreparable.
The driver who hit Paul failed an eye test. Nikki from Warsash wants driving laws to change.
He's going to hit, he's going to hit, he's going to hit, he's going to hit us.
Police witnessed the worst cases of driver error. A crash on the A30 in which an elderly driver with poor eyesight killed a 28-year-old Hampshire man inspired the senior investigating officer to set up the Older Drivers Task Force.
At the age of 70, you're no more likely to be involved in a collision than anyone else. In fact, our younger drivers are highest risk. However, when you get to around about 75, that's where risks do start to increase for the older person. And certainly when you get up to around about 85, you become 4 times more likely to be involved in a collision that you're responsible for than anyone else.
One of the main recommendations of the Older Drivers Forum is a compulsory eye test when you renew your licence age 70. And one of the first questions asked here today is, can you read a number plate at 20 metres?
Eyesight is extremely important, and I think it is absolutely essential that people get their eyes tested at least every 2 years.
Confident driver John signed up for the advanced motorist course in Portsmouth today. Less confident Paula has chosen to be assessed and advised.
When I go from a slip road onto a motorway, that's when I really feel intimidated.
These Hampshire forums have been so successful, the Older Drivers Task Force are now advising government, and eyesight tests are top of the agenda.
Don't let anybody else suffer, like my brother, his family and ourselves.
Those left to cope with the aftermath are pushing hard to change the law. Fail the sight test and you lose your licence. Sally Simmons, ITV News, Portsmouth.
A block of flats in Newport on the Isle of Wight has been badly damaged by fire. 6 fire appliances were called to the blaze in West Street. No one was hurt and the cause is still being investigated.
When the crews arrived, they couldn't be sure that all the persons had been evacuated from the premises. So in the very early stages, it was very important that they got that information to ensure that everybody was out of the building, and then we had a building with a fire rather than persons within that building on fire.
The widow of a 69-year-old man who died after hitting his head during a dispute with a cyclist has paid tribute to him. Roy Galvin was taken to hospital after the incident in Gosport on Sunday. He died this morning. His wife says he was incredibly intelligent and very, very funny. Duncan Snellgrove, who's 28 and from Rowner, has been charged with manslaughter. Former AFC Bournemouth goalkeeper Vince Bartram says he's made the greatest save of his life after noticing a lump in his wife's breast. The couple went straight to the doctors and she was diagnosed with breast cancer. Vince and his wife Tracy say it's been a difficult time, but her treatment has proved successful. This from Martin Dowse.
Tracy Bartram loves her husband Vince's hands. They're big, like a goalkeeper's should be, and they probably saved her life. It all started with a simple moment of affection between man and wife.
Well, we were having a kiss and a cuddle, as I call it, and Vince found a lump in my left breast, and he just said to me, "What's that?" And then I could feel it then.
It probably felt like a pea under the skin. I mean, we said, oh, it's probably nothing, you know, but it's better to find out from the people that know, the experts. Not, you know, don't do self-diagnosis. You know, you can be wrong. You know, they're the experts and they're the ones that know for sure.
The doctors gave them the bad news. It was breast cancer and it was aggressive. Here in the UK, there are more than 53,000 cases a year, and it causes nearly 11,500 deaths. But survival rates are improving, with early detection being the key. Tracy, at 41 with 2 young sons, was determined she'd fight it all the way.
I knew from the start I was going to beat it. There was no way that I was going to leave our 2 boys and Vince and our families. There was no way. I believed there was no way this was going to get the better of me.
Tracy's treatment at the Royal Bournemouth Hospital involved a year of chemotherapy, then surgery, then radiotherapy, until she eventually got the official discharge from treatment. Supported all the way by Vince, who fans will remember from his playing days with Bournemouth and later Arsenal. He's now the development coach for goalkeeping at Southampton.
People make the joke, I saved, because of the goalkeeping side, the football side, but, I'm not the one that saves a life. The doctors and the nurses and the wonderful people at the hospital there, just can't speak highly enough of them.
You know that you saved my life. And he has got an absolutely fantastic pair of hands.
There's a few football fans around the country probably disagree, but
The couple have made their very personal story public now as part of the Stand Up to Cancer campaign.
I hope that people see the serious side of, the importance of a partner checking their partner, whether that's a man to a woman or a woman to a man, or a man to a man, a woman to a woman, doesn't matter. The importance of that is huge.
Martin Dowse, ITV News, Bournemouth.
Investigators looking into the Shoreham air crash have been ordered by a High Court judge to hand over video evidence to Sussex Police. The force had requested that the Air Accident Investigation Branch give them access to their interview with the pilot and the results of tests carried out since the crash. The High Court said video evidence must be handed over. The co-chair of Portsmouth's Labour Party has announced his resignation in protest at the re-election of Jeremy Corbyn. His decision comes the day after the group's leader John Ferret also quit, and on the day Mr Corbyn addressed Labour's conference. Our political correspondent Phil Hornby has more.
Labour delegates from the south went to sleep last night in this football-mad city to the news that the main man had been shown the red card, saying it was a terrible error of judgment and complaining he'd been stitched up by the media. If only, some of them must have dreamed. If only. The week here ends with him over the moon, not weakened by the leadership election but strengthened by it. Those MPs like Peter Kyle from Hove and Alan Whitehead from Southampton, who've called on Mr Corbyn to go, are as sick as parrots. Most Labour supporters here say they have to make the best of it, including the man from Sussex who was Labour's youngest candidate at the last election. Can the party unite?
The party can unite. Yesterday I was, at a rally with people who didn't support Jeremy Corbyn, and I've been at rallies with people who did support Jeremy Corbyn. And the message is pretty much the same. We agree on the fact that we have, a government that wants to introduce a divisive education system. We agree that we need to invest in our NHS, that we need to be an anti-austerity party, and I think we're going to unite around those policies.
He appealed for unity and told them to get ready for Theresa May calling an early general election next spring.
I ask each and every one of you to accept the decision of the members, end the trench warfare and work together to take on the Tories.
Those who stayed to hear his big speech loved it. Many of those who knew they wouldn't love it had already gone home. This conference has sometimes felt a bit like a bad-tempered Sunday league match. Next week, a big European fixture, the Tory conference in Birmingham, Theresa May's first conference as captain, and one word, Brexit, will dominate the entire game. Phil Hornby, ITV News, Liverpool.
And finally, one of Marwell Zoo's latest arrivals, a leopard cub, has been named by members of the public. It's one of twins born in June. The cub has been named Casimir, which apparently is the Russian meaning destroyer of peace. Sounds like he could be a bit of a handful. Well, let's take a look at the latest weather forecast now with all the details. Here's Simon.
From Sleat to the slopes, driving through Europe. Eurotunnel the Shuttle sponsors ITV Meridian weather.
Good evening. Well, you'd have been off your trolley not to enjoy the fine weather today. In fact, it was very warm, 22.3 degrees at Heathrow Airport. Tonight it's mild as well, thanks to the cloud cover and also the breeze. We're looking at lows of around 15, 16 degrees. But at the tail end of the night, we're going to see a band of rain arrive, and that's going to work its way south and eastwards through tomorrow morning. Just light and patchy, that rain. And once it clears through into the afternoon, we'll see the cloud break up and we'll get some more sunshine. However, tomorrow won't be anywhere near as warm as today. Still not bad for the time of year, with temperatures up to around 17 or 18.
Eurotunnel the Shuttle sponsors ITV Meridian weather.
And that's it for now. We're back during Good Morning Britain from 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. Amanda will be here with that. But from the late team, thanks for your company. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.